Okay, well, we are officially recording now. I want to say good evening to everyone. My name is Kimberly James. I'm the City Council here in the City of Forest Park. And this is the ward meeting, monthly meeting that we do on the third Thursdays of every month. And really is to give information on what's happening in our city. And we try to get information directly from our departments. And I call them my subject matter experts on the call to let you know kind of what's going on in the city, some of the progress that's been made, and maybe even some of the issues, and then give the residents an opportunity, those that are present live with us, to ask any questions. So we're going to go ahead and get started. I don't want to prolong the time, and as other directors come online, we'll feed them right into the conversation. But we'll go ahead and start with our fire department, and we have our EMA coordinator Armstrong on the line with us. So EMA Coordinator Armstrong, you have the floor.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Good evening, everyone. So from the fire side, just a couple of quick safety tips since we're still in these winter months. We can definitely say that it's cold today and it will be this weekend. So we are still in the peak months for heating fires. And heating is actually the second leading cause of house fires. If I don't know if y'all knew that or not, but space heaters are most typically involved. And if you do use a space heater, just remember that they need quote unquote, space to work safely. So try to keep it about 3 feet away from objects in all directions. This past weekend, we had the potential for some winter weather, and we were pretty prepared as a city, which was great. The communication beforehand was awesome, and thankfully, we didn't have any impacts, really any kind of negative impacts related in our city. There was a potential for some more freezing rain or slash sleet or ice mixture from like tonight until Saturday morning, but the weather models, especially I attended a weather briefing today at 2, they're pretty much saying that's, it's kind of diminished. They're really not worried about it anymore. And if it does happen, it's going to be very central to east. So it would kind of, we're pretty much out of it. It's just going to be cold and dreary like it is right now. The biggest threats that we usually face with these kind of events is the extreme cold. We know about icy road conditions here in Atlanta. And then, of course, the down trees and power lines. Portable generators are really useful. If you do have a power outage, just please make sure that you use them properly. For example, don't start them inside any kind of enclosed space. We worry about carbon monoxide with those, and you won't know until it's a little bit too late if that is the case. So also make sure you've got carbon monoxide alarms installed if you do use those kind of tools and equipment. So otherwise, just stay safe. We should be good this weekend, but if you have any questions, just let me know.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. So we're going to go ahead and move on to our Public Works Department. Director Jinks, you have the floor.
I appreciate the invite. Just this past weekend, we went ahead and did some pre-treating to be on the safe side on some of our trouble spots. So just in case it did freeze overnight, I did have a crew come in and do some pre-treating. Luckily, my fire department said we didn't have no issues. So that was a blessing in disguise. And when the weather permits, we're going to be repairing any potholes. I've gotten a few reports on some potholes, so weather's got to be right before I can repair them. But as soon as it is, I will be addressing them. Doing our annual pruning of all of our trees, beautification, plus site visibility, cutting back bushes and stuff like that. Just remember the rules on code enforcement, if I'm not mistaken, is 5 feet from the curb, no taller than 3 foot tall. That would definitely help on site visibility. And
we're having a little bit of audio problems with you, Director Jinks.
Okay, how about now?
That's better. And then we heard the 5 feet from the curb, and then you kind of
right. It's 3 feet tall is a city ordinance, and plus that will help with all the site visibility. And I've had a couple of questions about the street paving. I'll give you a short. What happened was last year, they paved 17 of our 32 streets we had contracts on, but did not pave no streets in Riverdale. So this year they put Riverdale ahead of us and said they can get paved. Well, Mother Nature sort of cut them off early, so they did not get to Forest Park this year due to the weather. So we should be first on the list in the spring. And if you have any further questions, just feel free to call my office.
Perfect. Thank you, Director Jinks. All right, we're gonna go ahead and move to our Parks and Recs Department. Director Maxwell, you have the floor.
Hey, good evening, everybody. How y'all doing?
Doing great.
Yeah, well, we coming in. We're starting up our basketball season. Started last week. We're playing within the Clayton County Parks and Rec, and pretty much had a great first weekend. All of our teams did excellent, competed well, and brought home the first win of the season. So that was great. We're also gearing up to do some major remodeling to the indoor pool that will put us down for a little while. So keep an eye on that. We're also gearing up for our spring sports, which will be our soccer, adult volleyball, men's basketball, baseball, t-ball, and softball. With pretty much all that registration starts, I think is the first Monday, the last Monday of January. So I think it's the 30th or the 31st. That's when we start registration for our spring sports. That's the 31st of January. So everybody, please be on the lookout of that. Anything else? Like I said, just stop by the Recreation Center and give us any input and feedback on things y'all want to see within the community for this spring and summertime. Thank y'all so much.
Thank you, Director Maxwell. Appreciate that. We have Ken Fleming from our Supervisor Fleming from our Planning, Building, Zoning Department. Ken, you have the floor.
Yes, well, now it's Planning and Community Development Department.
Okay, got to make a note of that.
Community Development. And Mr. Bruce Abraham oversees that. They're doing a great job getting more businesses in our city here. But as far as Ward 1 for the month of December, only had 26 cases. That's a good thing, a real good thing. And 22 of them were resolved. That's very good to get the properties, meet with the people, let them know what the violations are, and we get them resolved instead of having to go through legal process to get it resolved. It's a very good thing here. Mainly in its parking violations, parking on the grass, storage yard, objects out, furniture out in the yard, trash and debris. We did have an issue with commercial vehicles we're dealing with now, parking in commercial parking lots that are not zoned for heavy vehicle parking. So I had only one case in Ward 1 on that, and that was at the Clayton Plaza Shopping Center, I do believe. I'll take it back. It was in a residential area. So, they need to know that those vehicles are too heavy to be driving in our residential streets because they're tearing them up. And then that's taxing Public Works Department to go out there and fix them. And is that not correct, Mr. Jinks? I mean, you guys compensate for the garbage trucks, but as far as these big, heavy tractor trailer trucks.
I totally agree. You worked over in Public Works, just as good as I do.
Yes, sir. So we're trying to keep them out of the residents. We got areas they can park their rigs at. My dad was a truck driver. I understand you want to get home, find a good place to park, but there is provided places on Old Dixie for heavy trucks to park. So we had unpermitted accessory structure being built at a location, only one, and we got that resolved. They got a permit, and that was good to go. A lot of folks think they can build onto the house and not realize they need a permit to do such. So we keep our eyes open out there patrolling areas to make sure, again, the folks are educated of what they can and can't do. And we try to be polite and professional in doing this, but some folks just don't like being told what to do, as you know, so we got a good staff. I think I told you all of our crew now. We have 4 code officers and they're all ICC International Code Council certified as code enforcement officers. So they've been recognized that they know what they're doing out there now and they know how to deal with the people. We've got a great staff. And I think I've told you too, a very diverse staff. So in Forest Park's a melting pot, and I think our department can cover that melting pot to educate the folks. But other than that, like I say, 26 cases and 22 resolved in the month of December. That's awesome. That's great. So we're going to keep at it, and we're still in the winter months, so if we can keep it. All the foliage is falling down now, so we can see in backyards where people are storing that antique car. One day they're going to get running. We can see that now and address it with our citizens. But all in all, I think our city's looking pretty good. And if there's an issue, I want the citizens to let us know so we can assist and get that area cleaned up. We just had a case today. I have to let you guys know. Yeah, the guy was living in an apartment complex, and it was just full of trash, and he was creating rodent problems that were affecting other individuals in other units. So we had to bring him to court. You got to clean it up. He got $1,000 fine, but it's going to be reduced if he'll get his property cleaned up. But like I say, it was affecting other people, and we have to look out for the whole community. So that was an interesting case we had today in court. And I'll be quiet. I think I've said enough. And if I didn't say, good evening to all distinguished folks here and you, Councilwoman James.
I appreciate it.
Thank you,
Appreciate that. And I thank you all for what your department is doing to help clean up our city. So it just let residents know that we are paying attention to what's happening. It doesn't matter whether you live in a home or live in an apartment or just around the city. We're trying to take care of that. So thank you so much for what you all do.
Thank you.
We have somebody that it has the last digits of their phone number, 8644. Is that someone from our department, City of Forest Park?
Hey, Sergeant Zachary, can you hear me?
Sergeant Zachary. Okay, perfect. All right, so we'll have our police department next. Sergeant Zachary, you have the floor.
Well, good evening. How's everyone doing?
Doing great.
I'll give you a quick overview of what's great. Thank you for what's going on. We're getting all our 2021 crime stats together, and you all will have that annual report released soon, and you'll get very specifics of what's been going on in the department and in the city. We've been pretty active in the community with various different initiatives. Back in December, we had a great December. We did our Shop with a Cop. We assisted over 16 families with Christmas toys, food, turkey. We went to the senior facility and out to some of the apartment complexes and delivered hams and toys to some families. And I had families reaching out to us that needed some items as well that we were able to assist with. So we had a very good December. Upcoming dates, we also did some food drives. We did a food drive as well. And I took food out to some of the homeless areas in the city. But we're waiting on donations to come in. Wholesale Food Hour, they've been very instrumental in helping us put this together. So as soon as they get us more dates with more food items, I'll definitely post those on our social media and email blast. Right now, Neighborhood Watch is on hold. I anticipate getting that started maybe back in March, but of course I will pay attention to social media and email blast for those dates. We're also planning out other community events, trying to get my dates together for the Citizen Police Academy, as well as the Hispanic Police Academy, as well as the Cadets Academy, trying to get everything planned out throughout the summer. So like I say, all those dates and stuff will be posted on social media and email blast as soon as they're available. I'm just trying to let COVID die down some before we get too involved back in the rooms together. Outside of that, if anyone needs anything, we're available 24/7 still. You know how to reach us, 911, non-emergency, 404-366-4141. And if you got anything community affairs related, SP, Community Affairs at forestparkga.gov. And that's about it from the PD. Everybody have a good evening.
Thank you so much, Sergeant Zachary. I appreciate that. We have our HR
Yes,
department. We have our HR department on the line. Deputy Director Lewis, you have the floor.
Oh, good evening, everybody. We have several job things, really exciting. First one is an office assistant at the police department. The salary range is $28,560 to $38,270. We're hiring police officers. The range is $40,590 to $52,464. We're looking for a fleet maintenance supervisor. That's going to be in the Public Works Department. We're looking for a communications officer part-time in the police department. The police department is also looking for a management analyst grants writer for the police department, and the salary range is $40,186 to $54,519. We're looking for a police captain, a firefighter, paramedic, firefighter EMTs. We're looking for a trade specialist for the Public Works Department. And we're also hiring full-time communications operators. That salary range is $34,714 to $46,517. The Public Works Department is looking for a heavy equipment operator, and they're also hiring maintenance workers. It starts off at $13.73 per hour. If you're interested in any of these positions, please visit the City of Forest Park's website. It's www.forestparkga.gov, www.forestparkga.gov. And at the top, you click on departments, and then you choose human resources, click on job opportunities, and then you'll have a listing of the opportunities I just read. And then also, if you're interested in something, click on the button that says apply now. Thank you, everyone, and I hope you have a great evening.
Thank you so much, Deputy Director Lewis. I'm
Thank you.
going to share my screen real quick. Just going to share with you all some very exciting things that are happening within the City of Forest Park. We are excited about the Star Park Phase 1. We had a presentation on that at our council meeting on Monday. So hopefully by the first quarter of 2022, you'll see some groundbreaking being done with our Phase 1 of our Star Park. Can you all see that on the screen? Can you see the screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Perfect. Okay, so let me see if I can get this off so I can't see this part of it. Okay, so Phase 1 is going to consist of where the pool, the outdoor pool is now, and the existing soccer field across the street from the tennis courts and the parking and all that. That's what Phase 1 is going to consist of. But if you look at all the different amenities that we're going to incorporate in our Phase 1 Star Park master plan, we have a dog park, we have a large and small pavilion, we have a couple of large pavilions, we'll have a splash pad, and from what I understand, it's a Cadillac, is what Director Shelby said at the meeting. So it's going to be really a nice in our community. We have our pool equipment room, the existing pool, the pool house, the amphitheater, tennis court, basketball court, skate park, youth soccer field, storage building, sand volleyball, and then we'll have a 1/3 mile walking track. We're going to have what they call Market Boulevard, where the vendors can come and set up shop and different things of that nature. So it's really exciting what we're going to be moving into. This is just a little look of the amphitheater and the different things that will be available on the theater level there. This is just some examples of the splash pad. So it's going to be exciting. Once we start doing the groundbreaking, I think that you all will be very impressed by the things that are going to be happening in your community. So this again is some more information on the floor plan for the pool and different things of that nature. The amphitheater, I'm just scrolling through. The pavilions and everything will have Wi-Fi. You'll have connectivity on the pavilions that will be available to you. And so this is going to be awesome. That's all I can tell you. Just look forward to some groundbreaking happening in our city. A lot of wonderful things are happening. So stay tuned. And with that, I know we have a couple of members that are residents that are on the line. Do you have any questions before we close out the call? I see Miss Adams on the call. I see Miss Marty, and I see Miss Franklin on the call. Do you ladies have any questions or comments?
I do have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
As far as the street sweeper is concerned, how often is it deployed? And is it a way that we could possibly put up signage for the residents to remove, move their vehicles off the street as well as the trash can? So the truck would have clear access to cleaning the debris.
Director Jinks, can you speak to the street sweeper?
We run the street sweeper and the vacuum truck ahead of it to assist in this time of year. As far as the signage, that's sort of a new idea. I can always give it a shot. It's a good idea that no residents brought in front of me before, but I would definitely, hey, you're the one. I'll give it a shot and we'll see what happens.
So I guess what we can do is determine what the schedule is on particular streets, and then I'll get with Dr. Cooper to see if we can maybe get some letters out or something if we have it on a schedule, if we have the street sweepers on a schedule. How many street sweepers do we have, Director Drinks? Do we just have the one?
Well, we have 2 half of ones. How about that? Does that count?
Okay.
But right now I'm trying to keep both of them and the vacuum truck running, but I'll be honest with you, at least 1 or 2 is in the shop at all times.
Mm.
So we are doing the best we can, and that might be one way to find out if I need to get code enforcement to find out if some of these vehicles sitting on the street don't move for 3 or 4 weeks.
Well, I'm glad you bring that up.
I knew you would.
We got the police department in here, correct?
Yes.
Okay, because code enforcement can address cars on the roadway. Code enforcement addresses the private property, commercial, residential. Now, what code enforcement does do is when we see a vehicle that's sitting on the street, flat tires, expired tag, we will call the police to come and assist us, and they will put a sticker in the window saying you got 5 days to remove this vehicle or we'll tow it. Now, I did want to ask Miss Adams if she's noticed any no parking signs on her street. Most of the residential streets don't have those signs, and PD is not just going to get a vehicle moved if there's no sign on the street. But if they're inoperable junk vehicles, we can't do anything, but we can call the police to come assist us. And they normally do. They always do. It's just, but it has to be an inoperable vehicle before they'll come and address it as such, but yeah, I mean, we're willing to work together with PD to get these unsightly vehicles off the street so the roadways will be clear so our sweepers can come through. And I know we're having issues with garbage cans outside the road. Folks are not bringing them in like they normally should after it gets picked up. And we're going to work with Public Works to address that also. We have door hangers we can take and put on the door with the code section about you have to remove it after it's been picked up that day. So we're going to help out the Public Works Sanitation Department on that. And if there's an issue in your area, Miss Adams, please let us know. Well, as a matter of fact, I'm taking notes now, and I will make sure that the officer that works that area, that'd be Ed Torres, to address any of those cans after that period when the can should be removed. And if there's any inoperable vehicles, I'll have him look for it. I'll make sure we get PD out there to assist us to have those vehicles removed.
And
So would that make me a snitch?
No.
No, it would give you the Greek name Anonymous.
you can tell them that I said so.
And I mind you, Ms. Adams, this is being recorded, so it will be.
Oops.
But you raise a good point, Miss Adams, and it is a concern. We do find junk vehicles on the roadway periodically on some dead end road, residential street, but we are proactively addressing these. I've showed all the officers, code officers, how to contact PD and get them out there and wait, and let them know. And PD's been very good assisting us in this matter. So, but I want to have Officer Torres specifically look for this in your area so we can get the street sweepers out there and have a clean curb appeal area out there.
Right.
And I know that we'll also make sure the people can move it when the street sweeper is scheduled to be there. There won't be any cars that are, that are operable in the way of those street sweepers as well.
And also if Ken will just work with PD that if they do see an area that's a lot of illegal parking, to go ahead and pass the word on to me if I can get the ball rolling. And it's one thing that this just reminded me, I've had nothing but good feedback on the speed cushions. Has any of y'all had the lovely experience of running over the speed cushions and not paying attention to my signs?
I did spill my coffee in my truck one day.
It's great. And matter of fact, I have to give Dr. Cooper an address of one of the residents from Forest Park High School. She was asking about one on her street. So I told her there's some things that have to go in the works of, as far as speed limit and all of that. So it's not as quick as just getting one up on your street, but there's a lot of interest in it. And I thank you all for doing that. And we are moving forward.
I have another question.
Yes, ma'am.
On some of the roads, specifically Hendricks Drive, some of the roots from the trees have grown through the roads to the point of, you're talking about spilling coffee. You could really have a really
right
bad
near Barksdale.
Yes,
right near Barksdale.
It's a couple of them. And so is there anything we're doing to address these roots growing up and buckling the streets like it would be a speed breaker or something?
Hendricks Drive was on the list to be paved this year, but Mother Nature and the cold weather cut the county short on paving, and they didn't even get to our city this year, but that was on there. But due to us being a year behind, we are going to start addressing these issues when the weather permits and the asphalt plants are running again. They're down for maintenance and a lot of times in the winter months. But we are going to try to address some of these since Clayton County put us a year behind on paving.
Yeah, there's one right there at Evergreen. Is that correct, Miss Adams?
Yes.
Yes.
Bad one at Evergreen and one at Barksdale by
Right.
that big oak tree.
It's
Yeah.
two by Evergreen.
We
Okay.
We got
Yeah.
used to swerve around, but yeah, we'll be happy when those streets are done.
That's Mother Nature speed humps. They're free. They didn't cost the city no money.
Good point.
Okay, so is there any other questions that we have from the floor? All right, I want to really thank everyone. Again, this meeting is recorded, so you will be able to go back and hear it again. We want to thank everyone, all of our departments that was represented this evening on the call to give us information. Make sure we keep ourselves safe with our heating during the winter months, and we keep our streets safe. Make sure we pay attention to some of the things that are happening in our Recs department. Thank you all so much. Thank you for sharing your time with me. And we're going to continue to do virtual for now because of the pandemic. I don't want to put anybody at harm's way. And I'm glad I decided to go virtual again today because it's cold and I really didn't want to get out in the cold anyway. But again, thank you all for checking in. I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording. And if you all have any additional questions that you want to add, ask me offline. I do have some information I want to share with you. So let me just stop the recording. Y'all have a good day.
Have a good evening,
Thanks.
everybody.